What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to TJ After Dark, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. We are the Tour Junkies. It is the Rocket Mortgage Classic 2022 week as the PGA Tour heads to Detroit and they're going to go play Detroit Golf Club. We've seen this tournament now 3 years. This will be year 4. If you want more intel on how the golf course is going to play, how it's set up, key stats, key trends, you can head over to our YouTube channel and check out the video on everything you need to know and nothing you don't, as well as our DraftKings preview and betting preview over there on the YouTube channel for the Tour Junkies. But for now, let's get to our favorite sportsbook outright bets on DK, as well as some top 20s. We'll try to hit you with it quick. We almost had a winner last week. Nearly had a winner, Pat. Another one.
So close.
Emiliano Grillo, 65-1, could not quite chase down Tony Finau last week for the 3M, but it was close. It was a good run, good ride, and let's move on. Rocket Mortgage, a little bit better field this week. Up at the top, you have Patrick Cantlay as your favorite. Will Zalatoris is back. Max Homa's back. Finau's coming back to play after last week. Cam Young is there. Those are kind of your favorites, and working into that 25-1 range is Maverick McNeely and Adam Scott. So, Pat, up here in the top on DraftKings Sportsbook, who we like?
Well, the shorter odds guys this week on DraftKings, I just don't really like any of these numbers to play right away. I just don't see a lot here. I think there's definitely some good players up here, and Cam Young at 18-1 interests me, but I just don't know if this is really a Cam Young, style course where he can just, blow it past everybody and score, which you're going to have to do this week. And I know he's a scorer. But still, I think Matt McNeely is my favorite play at 25-1. I mean, other than that, I really don't see anybody on the shorter end that really gives me a whole lot of excitement here for this tournament. And then you look at, just kind of past history. We've seen some long shot winners. Cam Davis last year, who you hit, was pretty long. I can't remember. What was he like?
160-1.
Yeah, and he's 35-1 this week. But Matt McNeely at 25-1 is the first one that really just jumps out at me as like, okay, I think that's a good number that I could bet this week. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I like Mav. I'm not sure the 25-1 gets me going. I think if I'm going to look that short, I think I would take a chance on Cameron Young. Mm-hmm. Even though I agree with you, like maybe some of this Donald Ross design limits his driving ability a little bit and clubs down a little bit, but he's still, to me, for outright win value, probably the better selection up top. And if you're new to this show, we don't usually bet favorites, so let's keep it moving. As we work down the board, in this 40-1 range for me, I have two names. Chris Kirk is one. We talked about him a lot on our shows this week. He checks every box. I mean, he's I think a guy who could very well win here. He's a winner on the PGA Tour. He's had a great season. I disregard kind of the performance overseas in Scotland. It's totally different golf. I wouldn't sweat that. But Chris Kirk at 40-1, I like. And at the number, I haven't talked about this guy all night. But at the number 40-1, Adam Hadwin to me feels like a little bit of a value. He's had a lot of top 10s this year. He's obviously, I think in a lot of ways this Detroit Golf Club can turn into a putting contest. And Adam Hadwin's probably a top 3 to 5 putter in this entire field, maybe even on the PGA Tour. He's a great putter. Short game is solid, right? It's usually about the iron play for Adam Hadwin. Can he get it done? You're going to have a lot of wedges in hand, even him. 40-1 just seems like a really good number, really good value for him. And then Troy Merritt at 60-1 is a guy who led here after 3 rounds, I believe, last year on his way to a top 10 finish. Checks a lot of boxes from a driving accuracy, putting, standpoint. So Troy Merritt, another PGA Tour winner at 60-1, is interesting to me. So how about you in this mid range?
Yeah, I think the mid range is probably where we're going to find the winner this week. There's a few guys in here that I really like. Chris Kirk is one of them at 40-1. You look at a guy; it's definitely a good course fit. He's top 20 in the field in ball striking, top 10 in strokes gained off the tee, 31st and birdie or better percentage. So I think Chris Kirk is definitely one that I'm looking at this week. Another one in the same range is Davis Riley, who a lot of people wanted to play last week. He was high owned in DFS plays, let a lot of people down with a missed cut. I think you go back onto him at 40-1. He's another guy. He's a scorer. He's top 10 in the field in birdie or better percentage, checks a box in par 5 scoring, also top 5 in approach and ball striking. I think you go back to Davis Riley, take him at 40-1, and just see what happens there. Another guy with a little bit longer shot that I like. I know you don't. Mackenzie Hughes is at 60-1. I like him this week. He's got a good course history this week. He's got good recent form. So 60-1 Mackenzie Hughes is the other one that I like in this mid-range.
All right, I forgot to mention Scott Stallings. I love Scott Stallings. He's been knocking on the door lately. T4 finish at the John Deere, T8 at the Travelers. He's got missed cuts in there, but he's just got a lot. He's come so close. 4th at the Charles Schwab. So, 3 8th place or better finishes in his last 5 tournaments for Scott Stallings. He is close. So I like him a lot at 55-1. Then, getting down into that longer range for me, Patrick Rogers at 80-1. I just can't quit. I'm just waiting on the guy to close the door and win a PGA Tour event, but he gives me the great combination of distance and putting. He's played here twice. I think he's finished 41st and 45th both years. But I think I don't know, man. I just can't quit him. I want to, but I can't. And 80-1 is calling me, so I'll jump on it. Grayson Sigg at 100-1 is one I'm interested in. Korn Ferry Tour Player of the Year last year, a winner at every level. Couldn't really break through to that top 20, ceiling on the PGA Tour until 3 weeks ago, and he's rattled off 3 really good finishes in a row. And he's playing well right now. And he's on the FedEx Cup bubble, which is a key factor, I think, for some of these guys, a little extra motivation. So for me, Grayson Sigg is there. And then maybe a little Michael Gligic at 130-1, a guy you talked about last week. He's a bomb, long shot, another guy who's on the FedEx Cup bubble, hits it a long way, putts really well. I'll take my chances on him. That's probably it for me in terms of the triple digits.
Yeah. Well, I'll start with, I think that Doug Gim is a good play here at 100-1. He's a guy coming off of 2 straight top 20 finishes, a great ball striker, a guy that comes, I think, on a short course like this, Donald Ross design. I really like Doug Gim this week at 100-1. I think Ricky Fowler at 100-1 is a decent number. I'd probably rather bet him as a top 20. But if you love to bet Ricky Fowler outright, maybe you take him this week at 100-1. I'll go there. Other than that, I don't really have the only other name I'll mention, only because DraftKings Sportsbooks has Harris English at 130-1. And he's basically, I've seen him at 60-1 and 80-1, and that's probably it. So they're the only ones that have him at some incredible value there at 130-1 on Harris English. I don't know a whole other lot of reasons to play him right now. He's been coming off of an injury. He's played okay coming off the injury, but that's some pretty good value versus other books with Harris English. And one more, actually, right next to Harris.
What's the last name?
What?
You said this is the last name I'm going to mention.
I know, but one more because I saw him and it just jumped out at me. Trey Mullinax, coming off of a victory just a couple weeks ago. He's also at 130-1. He's another one that's been in really good form recently. He followed up his win with some good play, made the cut at the Open Championship. So I do like Trey Mullinax there at 130-1.
All right, let's talk top 20s. For me, I'll start long here and work it to the shorter range. I've been talking about this guy for weeks. I'm a big fan of him. The Englishman, Callum Tarrant, sitting as the bubble boy, 126 on the FedEx Cup, got to be 125. And what has he done the last 3 weeks knowing he was a bubble boy? Well, he played the John Deere, finished 6th, had a chance to win. Then flew all the way across the Atlantic Ocean to the Genesis Scottish Open, missed the cut. It's Scotland, it's different. Then he flew all the way back last week, played the 3M Open, finished 7th last week. Could have actually won. He was in contention. He had a chance until Sunday didn't start off the way we wanted it to. But Callum Tarrant at 4-1, I'm a fan of. Chris Gotterup, the young college standout, Haskins Award winner, and Grayson Sigg, who I've already talked about, are both plus 350. Patrick Rogers is plus 300. That's probably the safer bet rather than taking my outright option for him. Scott Stallings, who I talked about, is plus 240. I love that for Stallings. And then we both talked about Mav McNeely. You liked him outright at 25-1. I think McNeely at plus 130 to top 20 is a good plus money shorter bet.
Okay. Well, I'll go with a few here that I like. One is, what the hell? Sorry, I lost him. One, Matt Wallace, I like it plus 500.
Disgusting. I wish you would have lost that. You should have lost it.
Been playing better recently. I'm going to go a little bit shorter here, though. I like Danny Willett at plus 350. Another guy that's played, just great golf this year. I mentioned Ricky Fowler as an outright. I like him at plus 350 also as a top 20 play. A guy that killed a lot of people last week, who I think could play well this week, is also Brendan Steele at plus 270. And then one more that I'll give you here in this, kind of around this plus 200 range. I do like Mark Hubbard at plus 240.
Yeah, I like Hubs. All right, that's it for us. That's Tour Junkies After Dark, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook for the Rocket Mortgage Classic. You got this week and next week, the last two events of the regular season, and then it's time for the FedEx Cup playoffs. That's going to be some exciting stuff. So check out the content on DraftKings YouTube channel. Click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And let's have a great week. See ya.
Out.